episode number 23. As you can see, if you're watching this, it's a little bit different. We are doing it on a stationary bike, aren't we, TJ?
We are.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different this time. Probably something that's never been done before, but that's just me being, just kind of bigging it up. Yeah. So, there's myself here, Ben, and as you can see, I'm with TJ. If you can remember TJ back from a previous episode, awesome episode that, by the way.
Thank you. I enjoyed it, but I always enjoy coming back to visit Velocity.
Yeah,
I always have good fun here.
Well, it's great having you here as well, TJ. Nice little bubbly personality. So we'll first start off by just telling the guys the reason why we're doing this podcast on a bike, or Bikecast, or TriCast is what we're calling it.
Yeah, TriCast is a cool name, I think.
Yeah. So we're doing it in aid because TJ has signed up for a Ironman event, haven't you?
Yes. Well, technically Outlaw.
They're
different companies, but it's a really long triathlon.
Right. Yeah. So let's go through numbers so guys can hear it.
So it starts with a 2.4 mile swim.
Right.
In a lake in the rural part of Nottinghamshire.
Right, it's total open water. Swim.
Yep. My favourite kind of swimming, that.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The sense of freedom is amazing.
Brilliant.
So 2.4 mile swim, starting at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Straight onto a 112 mile bike.
Right. Bloody hell.
And then straight into a full marathon at 26.2 miles.
And a full marathon to top that off.
Yep. And you've got a maximum of 17 hours.
17 hours to complete
17 hours to finish.
Crikey. So, as you can see, like, one of the reasons as to why we're doing this on bikes is because effectively we're doing one of your bike sessions today, aren't we?
Yeah, we talked about doing another podcast, and you said, can you come up on Thursday? And I said, I can, but I have a bike session to do.
Yeah.
So why don't you do your bike session? Why don't you do my bike session with me?
Yeah.
And then the crazy idea was born, I think.
Yeah, I think with Bikecast it might catch on, it might be
It might become a new thing, you know. We might get famous.
Brilliant. So, tell me about this session that we're doing then, because I know we've just hopped on a bike, we've started talking, we've started recording, but what is it that we're effectively wanting to do?
So this is one of what I would call my bread and butter sessions. Training through the winter is pretty difficult for the cycling side of things.
Right, yeah.
Because not everyone likes to go out when it's 2 degrees outside.
No.
And I'm pretty hardy, but when it gets below 5 degrees, I think actually that's not fun anymore. And if it's not fun, don't do it.
Yeah.
But you have to get the miles in. So I will quite often substitute a couple of my rides in the week for an indoor bike session. They tend to be shorter, but more intense.
Right.
So 80 minutes for me is quite short.
So 80 minutes is short for
80 minutes is short.
So
if I was on a bike outside, it would be 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
You'd be going. So if you were to just put that into relation for the Outlaw event that you're doing now, what time kind of scale are you looking to complete the bike section in that? What's an average cycle session to say if you're training for 4 hours?
I'm going to be doing 180 k's or 112 miles in the event.
Right.
I don't need to be at that mileage just yet. But what you need is a really good level of bike fitness.
Yeah.
And a really good level of essentially just being able to sit on a bike for that long, because it's going to take between 7 and 8 hours.
Oh yeah. You need a comfortable cushion
you
when
need
you're
a
behind for that
comfortable
one.
seat.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And you also have to be really cautious of how much energy you're expending.
Yeah.
So the bike for me is the strongest part of my triathlon.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't just get on the bike and absolutely hammer it and finish in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Because I still got to get off and run a marathon.
Yeah.
And I need a load of energy for that.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So
a bloody marathon at the end of it. That's I have to say that you're doing that. So I'm trying to think of 100 and that type of mileage. That's further than here to Birmingham.
Manchester is 60 odd miles from Leeds.
Yeah.
So it would be Leeds, Manchester, Leeds.
Yeah. Bloody hell, on M62, outside of it.
And then run to Garforth and back.
Yeah. Gosh.
But don't forget, you're in the water at 6 o'clock.
In the morning. And then you've got that 17
and
hour window.
That's a good hour and a half of non-stop swimming.
Well, we did have we had another guest on the podcast, Jacob, and he did a try, and it were kind of similar distances. I think it were a half one.
Yeah.
And he said the open water swim were very, very difficult because it were kind of you can train for swimming,
yes.
but then you can't train for another 80 people around you,
nope.
kicking you in the face at the same
can't.
time.
It's that part of triathlon can be absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
If you're a faster swimmer and you're stronger in the water, then you get right into the thick of it, and you throw your elbows if someone's too close, or you kick if someone's on your feet or whatever. Yeah. But 9 out of 10 people are not trying to kill you in the water. They're just trying to race their own line. Yeah. So, like when I did the half Ironman, we were in the River Dee in Chester.
Right.
That's where our swim was.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. So the first 1,200 meters you swam against the current.
Right.
So you were slightly fighting the current, and then you turned around and you did another 700 meters back.
Right.
And you were going with the current, so the swimming was a bit easier. But as I got into the water, everyone I saw had like jammed themselves up against the far bank of the river. Yeah. And I thought, there's about 250 people there. That's a lot of arms and legs that are going to kick me. Yeah. And I'm quite a strong swimmer, so I stayed central line in the river, right by the line of direction buoys. And I just followed that line up, so I had a really, really direct line, and I was really lucky. Didn't get kicked or hit once.
Right. Oh, happy days.
That was great.
Yeah, happy days. And I suppose if you are a really strong swimmer and you're out in front, nobody's going to kick you.
No, there is that.
Yeah.
There is a picture of when I got into the water. There's a series of pictures that my friend took. And you can see me doing my warm-up swim, and I'm kind of coming across her frame this way. And then another guy who obviously wasn't looking where he was swimming, he came across from my left-hand side and swam right in front of me, and I just swam straight over the top of him. And you just see a picture of him like this, like all confused and like, what the hell just happened? It's like, well,
you've just been run over.
If you didn't look where you were going, you got run over, dude.
Yeah.
It's a race.
Oh, fantastic. So when is this event then?
It is July next year.
July next year.
Yes. So I started my training for it in July this year.
Yeah. So giving yourself a full.
Give myself a full year. The year before that, I focused on rehabilitation, and fixing bad knees. Yeah. Old injuries. Yeah. I actually took a full year off of running because I just wasn't enjoying it. Yeah. But it's to celebrate my 40th and to celebrate getting to 10 years of kind of deciding to change my life and become healthier and fitter and stronger.
Nice. And what a way to put a cherry on the top.
What a way to celebrate it, right?
Yeah.
Go and do something that's really, really scary.
Yeah, well, it is. I'm frightened for you. I wouldn't like to do it myself, to be honest. Yeah. And I can imagine the hours that you've got to put in training. Like,
you really do.
Like, if you tried to schedule stuff in, because you're a personal trainer and sports massage therapist as well, aren't you, TJ? Yep. So you kind of like managed by your own diary. Yes. You book your own clients in and so on, but then trying to shoehorn all
the training around that. Yeah. And the cycle training is particularly difficult actually, because when you're going to do your cycle training, it's generally, if you're going to go and do 50 miles or 60 miles, you need a good 3.5 to 4.5 hours. Yeah. You also don't want to come back too tired to train your clients and put your energy into your clients. Yeah. So you've got to have a day that's a little bit quieter. Then at the same time, the weather's got to play ball.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Otherwise, you have to adapt the training and go, well, I'll have to take my session into the gym. Yeah. How do I do that now? Yeah. So a lot of it is actually just playing with things and figuring it out.
Manipulating it in.
Yeah. You can have a beautifully laid out plan.
Yeah.
And then it can snow for a week.
Well, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, because do you find that being a struggle, especially with things like ice on the pavements, on the roads and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really like being indoors at all. But as part of this project, in the winter, it's better to go indoors than to slip over and have an injury.
Well, yeah, exactly. Even for things like elements of running and stuff, it can be quite dangerous, that can't it? And Leeds has its own little microclimate as well, so it just seems to do its own thing quite a lot of the time. We've had really, really, really heavy rain in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's been shocking,
absolutely nuts, hasn't it?
Yeah, especially in around South Yorkshire region as well.
Oh gosh, they're really, really struggling, aren't they?
But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things when you're trying to play about with God and try and let him manipulate things.
No point in fighting nature.
Exactly. That's awesome then. So let's talk about your training as a whole. So you spent the first, well, you said that you've had a year completely off, because I can imagine that going in and trying to do one of these events, you cannot have any niggles.
No.
Because of the amount of turmoil that you're going to put your body through and trying to exert into your training. It's more the build-up of training, I believe, in these types of events.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
So, there's no point in having a really, really good block of training and then just trying to push that too far and maybe picking up a bit of a niggle in the ankle or a bit of a niggle in the knee or in the hip, or maybe you're swimming a little bit too hard and you get some rotator cuff issues.
Yeah.
And that can niggle at you for months.
Yeah.
If you hurt a tendon, as you know, bad blood supply takes ages to fix.
The bloody worse than bone injuries.
Tell you, I'd rather break my arm than hurt a tendon.
Exactly.
So a lot of it is thinking about what have I got on at the moment, what capacity have I got to load my training this week.
Yeah.
So quite often what I'll do is I'll look at my full week and I'll say, right, I've got a half a day free here.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to make that my longer session,
whether
that's a long run or a long ride or a combination of the two.
Yeah.
So it might be a 3-hour ride followed by a 2-hour run.
Right, friggin' hell, so it's like 5 hours training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you have to make the decision about, do you go for a swim to loosen off?
Yeah.
Can you just swim gently to loosen off? Or do you actually just need a complete rest day?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is
there's a lot of
done by instinct.
Yeah, it's like auto-regulated training, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you kind of like just feeling how your body feels and dictating your training schedule from that, which I can imagine would play more of a role than what any type of fancy Excel spreadsheet would do in terms of your training, because you need to factor in. Yeah, there needs to be an element of progression to cause adaptation, but you also need to actually just progress to the level that your body's going to allow you to. As well. So
absolutely.
Like you say, if you're doubling up sessions, especially if you're doing 5 hours worth of distance activity within the day, chances are that you're probably going to need recovery. As well, aren't you? So.
And I think for me the really interesting thing about that is, when I decided to take on the long triathlon, the Ironman, the Alpha, or whatever you want to call it, I spent about 3 months looking at different training plans that were available.
Did you? Yeah.
And people were going, you need to be spending 25 hours a week training. And I was going,
That's a part-time job.
I'm pretty busy with PT clients, and I'm pretty busy, I run a waiting list for massage clients. There's people who've been waiting weeks to see me because there's no gaps in my schedule.
Exactly. And then you'll be needing a bloody massage as well, won't you?
Oh, I have a massage every week.
Right. You need it.
There's another massage therapist who deals with quite a lot of the running clubs in Leeds.
Right, yeah.
And we've been friends before I became a sports massage. We've been friends for years.
Yeah.
And he is about 65 and he runs London Marathon every year.
Right.
He's quick as well. He's like well under 4 hours.
Is he? Yeah.
He's amazing.
I'd take my hat off to anybody that can even achieve a marathon.
Are you still having nightmares about your marathon experience, Ben?
Yeah, I am. Hence why you find me on a bike.
It still cracks me up that your wife was like, "You're in good shape, Ben. Get up there with those with them skinny boys.
Yeah.
Go on."
You're all right. Just get to the front. You'll be out in front then.
5-minute miles for the first 2 miles. Don't. Yeah.
Bad mistake that one, I think.
Right, we're just coming to halfway through our warm up.
Yeah.
So if you just go up 2 levels, keep your legs roughly at the same speed.
Okay.
Just go up 2 levels. Cool. And we will just cruise along.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what we're doing then. So the element of that warm up, because you've just said halfway through the warm up, but then I've realised how long we're into it.
It's a half an hour warm up.
Right.
And that's specifically designed around my own engine because I've got a really, really slow engine.
Right. Yeah.
I can run 10Ks and then go, okay, I'm warmed up and ready for 10Ks now.
Right.
But it takes me that long to get going.
Yeah.
Bloody
hell.
So, like going to parkrun on a Saturday morning, which is 5Ks, and if you want to do a hard effort, I might have to run an hour before that. If I'm going to do a hard effort at parkrun, I'll run for an hour, get my engine going, and then have 3 or 4 minutes, because there's always loads of announcements and stuff.
There is. I love a good park run though. I'm a member of
a good park run.
Yeah, I'm contemplating doing it this Saturday, but it depends on weather for me when I'm waking up on a Saturday morning.
You're a bit of a fair weather runner.
Oh yeah. If it's cold at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I'm just like, turning my alarm off and rolling.
I think I'll just be like.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, that's so.
Do you have a good park run?
You would put in a very efficient warm up within your programs.
Absolutely, If I'm going to do a big effort, then I will do a good solid warm up before. Yeah. And it will be slow, you know. Right. Yeah. It might be taking 10 minutes to run a kilometer, so you're basically just trotting along. Yeah. But it just takes a while for my body to get going. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've learned. Over time, my training plan for Ironman is based on everything I've learned. Yeah. So when I was looking at all these different plans, and everyone's going, you need 30 hours a week, you need 25 hours a week, you need 20 hours a week, I was like, you people need to get a full-time job. That's actually what you need. But that just isn't viable for me. Yeah. And it's supposed to be a project that's fun. Yeah. So I looked at all the projects, and the overall theme that I found was there was most of them had 6 to 9 month training plans, and there was no facility for flexibility in the plans. It was progressive all the way through. But
very, very rigid, very linear.
Yeah, every sort of 4 weeks or so you might have a cutback week where your load is slightly lower. Yeah. But you were progressing in a very steady sort of way all the way through. Yeah. And I thought, but that doesn't allow for life getting in the way.
Of course.
Doesn't allow for sickness.
Yeah.
Doesn't allow for
weather.
Crazy stuff happening in your family.
Yeah. Oh, that is. Yeah. Definitely.
You know, this week I've had a friend who's been really unwell, and it's disrupted all of the training. Yeah. But with my training plan, it's okay for that to happen. Yeah. Because it's just a week. I need to have be a bit more cautious about it next week. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the friendship is more important than the Ironman, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Let's not get too tunnel visioned with this thing.
Oh yeah, the friendship lasts longer than what an actual event does, doesn't it? So
it sure does.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, they want to come and support at Ironman. So what I worked out is my training plans always work better if I make them myself. I know I don't concentrate on anything for more than 2 weeks at a time. Yeah. So my training cycle runs in 2 week cycles.
So do you mean that in the sense of like 2 week might be swim focused, 2 week might be
No, so every week I'll do a bit of everything.
Ah, right, okay.
But I'll only plan 2 weeks in advance.
Ah, I get you. Yes.
So I have an eye on the big picture. Yeah. I knew that by the beginning of October, I wanted to be completely comfortable at a quarter of each of the distances.
Right, yeah.
So being able to swim a kilometer in the pool. Yeah. Being able to ride 45 Ks on the bike. Yeah. Or 30 miles or whatever. And being able to run kind of 10 Ks, 12 Ks.
Yeah.
And because there was no pressure around that, it was just like, this is where we are. Yeah. By the end of October, I need to be about here. By the end of February, I need to be comfortable at half of all of the distances. Yeah. By the end of, or the beginning of May, I need to be comfortable at 3/4 of the distances.
Of course, yeah.
And then I've booked a training camp the first 2 weeks in June.
Right.
My friend is getting married in France.
Oh, beautiful.
She has a house out there.
Yeah.
And she said, we have spare room in the house. So you can go and stay at the house, take your bike. Yeah. I know a couple of Ironman triathletes out there, so they will take you to the local lakes where they will train for swimming. Yeah. And they can send you all the GPS files for cycling.
Yeah, bloody hell,
and then you can run through the vineyards.
Oh, beautiful. And then a couple of glasses of wine and a nice bit of baked bread towards the end and cheese.
And then my parents will be in Holland at the time. Normally they're based in Canada. Yeah. My parents will be in Holland, so my stepmom's going to cycle from Holland down to the south of France.
Bloody, what's in your family?
They're all nuts, mate. I'm the most normal one in my family.
Right. Yeah.
When they watch this, there's going to be some banter, let me tell you. But I'd say it again, I am the most normal one in my family.
Yeah, bloody hell.
So she's going to cycle down. My dad will drive to support her.
Yeah.
They'll come to my friend's house and they'll support me for 2 weeks.
Oh, very good.
So, like, if I want to do a cycle that's 90 miles, we can throw my bike in their car, drive 90 miles, throw me out the car and say, see you when we see you.
All right, cycle back, yeah. Bloody hell.
Have you got money for a sandwich on the way?
Yeah, you need to know, won't
yes,
you?
Dad.
Like little things like that, yeah. Which kind of leads me on to my next question then, because if you've got a maximum of 17 hours to do an event in, there needs to be some form of fuel.
Yes.
Within there. So,
yes.
I mean, this is totally coming from myself that's only ever, I've only done a marathon.
Yeah.
But at least within a 4-hour window, you can get, like, juices and things on board that are quite sufficient.
You can get gels and all that stuff.
Exactly. So what would you last for this outlaw event with it being such a long... I mean, like, you've just completed a 2.5 mile swim, 100 and something mile bike, and then a frigging marathon at the end of that.
Yeah.
You can't particularly sit down for a 3-course meal in the middle of it.
No, you can't.
So what do you do to kind of fuel it up?
So the fueling thing is really, really interesting. At the moment, I'm testing different gels. So every time I go out for a long bike ride or for a long run, I take a different gel.
Right, yeah.
9 out of 10 of them are not good for your stomach, shall we say.
Right, yes, I'd go straight through, yeah.
Yes.
You mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Desperately unpleasant. But I'd rather know that now.
Of course, yeah, until race day, yeah.
And then there are things that I found in the last few years that really work well.
Right, yeah.
Oddly, pork pies.
Pork pies?
Mini pork pies.
Yeah.
Because they've got a whack load of salt in them.
Yeah.
And I sweat quite a lot.
Yeah,
so
you need to replace that sodium, yeah.
They've got a bit of carbs in it. They've got a bit of protein in it.
Good, yeah, a little bit of fat in there as well. I mean, it's like,
and they're only like that big, so you can eat it in 2 bites.
It's like a little miniature Sunday dinner that you're putting in it. Yeah, so you can just sit down and have a nice little bit of pork pie in between.
You know,
and that can be very subjective to the person, can't it? Because it's what agrees with you.
Yes.
Because for one person, they may be able to just do it on, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like fruit and different other products, whereas you might turn around to them and say, well, I do it on pork pies, and they might be thinking,
I'm fueled by pork pies.
How does your stomach even allow you to do that? But,
and I'm like, but how can you eat those gels? Don't they make you go to the loo 10 minutes later?
Exactly, and that's one thing that people really need to try and work out prior to doing the event.
100%.
You don't want to change it up for race day because you've read a fancy blog or you've watched a video on YouTube that says this is the best product to eat.
The Brownlee boys, they use this kind of gel, and you go, that's for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And 10 miles later, you're going, oh, I don't think that was for me, actually. Where's the nearest Portaloo?
Yeah, and trust me, I remember on my marathon, I made that fatal mistake of using a Portaloo in the middle of it, and I wish I never did.
Because trying to get going again after that.
Well, not only that, it's like the state of the Portaloo, it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting.
They can be pretty gross.
Yeah, it certainly was that anyway. But yeah, and that comes down to things like when you watch on TV and athlete endorsements and things. Yeah, try them out, but make sure you trial them. Yeah. Don't use them in practice, in competition for the first time.
So I have in my cupboard at home, I've got a cupboard that's for all the athletic type stuff. Yeah. So I went to a couple of sports shops and I bought every kind of gel and hydration tablet and powder and rehydration drink that I could find. Yeah. And I just chucked them all in the cupboard. And every time I go out, I just choose something random. Yeah. If it sits in my stomach all right, it goes in a bag that has a big tick on it.
Nice.
If it does not go through me very well, or if it upsets my stomach, it goes in another bag with a big old X on it.
The green bin outside of your house, that's
just
what it goes into,
we don't need those.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I much prefer fueling with real food. Yeah. So rather than a gel, I would rather have a couple of Tang Fastics.
Yeah. You know, like some sweet, something you can eat, if you know what I mean, rather than just relying on fluid.
On the long day events, then what I find actually is I don't crave sugar, I crave salt.
Right, and that could be down to
and that's because I'm sweating a lot.
Yeah.
So I might have a bag of mini cheddars.
Yeah.
And just put it in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So when I go on the cycle, I'll put a cycling top on, which has got 3 or 4 pockets at the back.
Right. Yeah.
So that'll have a rain mac. In it. It will, because you're on the bike for 8 hours, you need to think about every eventuality, don't you?
Oh, of course.
Is it going to be too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry?
Mm-hmm.
You got a good repair kit on your bike? Do you know how to fix your bike?
Well, yeah, I suppose that could be one of them, definitely. Yeah. What do you do when you fall off your bike? I mean, have you got an action plan? Is there an health and safety booklet you need to write into? Yeah.
No, I'm pretty good at not falling off my bike. But yeah, so I'll have some gels, some Tang Fastics, a couple of mini pork pies because they're so small, they're easy to keep in here.
Yeah.
Maybe some mini cheddars, something that will give me a hit of salt quite quickly. Peanuts.
Yeah.
Salted almonds.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you get that little bit of salt, that bit of quick release energy, and a little bit of slow release energy. In there as well.
It makes sense for what you need during the event. Because on those for guys that may be listening that have not done a long distance event, it amazes you how much salt that you actually do lose on it. Even if you don't sweat a lot, but you still feel it. You still feel your muscles feeling a certain way, and they might be just involuntarily twitching and things, and you need to stop the cramping some form of sodium in there to try and prevent that. Yeah,
you do. The interesting thing about cramping is I used to cramp a lot, and I went to an outdoor swimming practice once, and there was a dietitian there from British Athletics.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I said, well, gosh, I'm getting a bit of cramping. And she said, listen, someone's written a paper, it's not scientifically proven, but it might be something for you to go and try. Yeah. Pickle juice.
Pickle juice, eh?
Pickle juice.
Yeah.
And I thought, that sounds like another one of these fads, but I'm not into trying fad things, but I'll give it a go, because if you get cramp in the middle of a race, it's awful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's awful. So, I had some pickle juice. And now I have just a bit more pickles and stuff in my everyday eating. Yeah. Never had a cramp since.
Really? Yeah. Well,
so I don't think it's scientifically proven, but I haven't had a cramp since, and my training volume has gone right up.
Right, well, there you go.
So maybe it does work.
Yeah,
Who knows?
And that can sometimes be very relative, that you can, especially within other sports and when you look into strength and conditioning, you can rely too much on looking at research and things that are down on paper and that have been published, rather than actually like some anecdotal evidence. Yeah. Yes, I know all these studies say that it's done this on this type of cohort that have done that specific trial on that specific day or week. Yeah. But have you?
The people that they're trialing, are they everyday people, or are they already athletes?
Yeah, are they already trained? Are they everyday athletes? I mean, yeah.
Are their bodies used to having to do the adaptations?
Yeah, exactly.
On a consistent basis, or are they a bit of a weekend warrior like me?
Well, yeah. But I can see the need for the research for it to be there. Yeah. But I'm kind of against fully and only taking the research for granted. There needs to be a certain part of anecdotal evidence that somebody's gone out there, tried it, or you've done it yourself. And, and if you meet somewhere in the middle of that, that's where I think you'll find the truth, rather than just saying everything needs to be science-based.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
I'm all for the science. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Some of it will work for me, some of it won't.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give things a bit of a go.
Yeah.
But if I have clients who ask me about it, my advice to them is always, you know what, try it out for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
The pickles thing worked for me.
Yeah.
Another guy in my triathlon club tried it, no effect at all.
Right, yeah.
But it works for me.
Like I say, different folks, different strokes. If you have a look when they try and publish a new drug for the NHS, some people it'll work, some people it won't. There's a reason there's trial drugs out there and stuff. So I'm not saying intra-race nutrition is like a trial drug that's going to be prescribed through NHS, but it's just to show the point that what may work for one person, or what may work for a group of people in the University of, I don't know, Melbourne, may not be applicable to us in Leeds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're just getting up to the end of the warm-up.
So just for the guys listening, that's a 30-minute warm-up I've just done there. Yeah.
He's still alive, folks. Don't worry. We haven't killed him off just yet. So let's go up 2 levels.
2 levels.
Okay.
Yep.
What's your heart rate doing?
I'll tell you. Well, it's currently saying I'm at 104 beats per minute.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try and get up to about the 120 mark.
Right, okay.
And cruise at the 120 mark.
Cruise at 120.
I'm at 120 watching.
Right, I need to...
this is really a weird position to be in. Because if I'm riding on my own bike, I'm in a completely different position.
I can imagine these bikes being different, yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is very bizarre.
We're on a standard studio bike for the guys that are listening. So TJ, how would your bike be different how is your bike different to the standard upright normal studio bike?
So I am on a road bike.
Yeah.
That generally tries to put you in a more aggressive position.
Right.
So I would be higher at the back end.
Yeah.
With my torso bent over, and I would essentially be on my handlebars like that.
Right.
Or about like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm always pedaling down and back rather than forward and round.
I get you. Yeah. So currently, if you think of like the way you're generating force on a studio bike, your knees are very much going in front of you. Your foot's planting flat.
Yep.
So it's almost like you're trying to bound when you're running.
Yeah.
Type of thing. If I move my arms now on a studio bike.
Yeah. You
and
could
these
almost
pedals
be
weren't
running.
here, I could be running.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas.
And you're sort of starting your stroke in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The force happens just kind of directly down from your knee.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Where on my road bike, my force would be happening essentially from my hips.
Yeah. So like pushing back. Yeah. Almost. Yeah. With your foot. Right. Yeah. It's interesting.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's.
So I might struggle to get to 80 minutes today, just getting my excuses in, guys.
Yeah, different equipment. Poor workmen blame the tools. That's the same for that one. No, but it is completely different as I can imagine, because the whole element of wind, I can imagine that coming into it quite a lot. And
yeah, it does, especially in the flatlands, because we're Garforth area here. Mm-hmm. If you go like Tadcaster, Ulliscarf, Church Fenton.
Yeah.
You're right into the flatlands there.
Yeah.
And it's a really weird thing around there. You can be cycling this way and have a headwind.
Yeah.
Whew, and the headwind is the cyclist's worst enemy.
Yeah.
Because you can be pedaling where you'd normally be 16, 17 miles an hour.
Right.
And putting that same amount of force in and riding at 12 miles an hour. Because the wind's just pushing.
Gosh, yeah. So it's an active resistance.
It is
it's
an active.
It's like going up a couple of gears on your bike. Yeah.
And then you turn right, 90 degrees right, you're still in a headwind. And you're like, how's that even possible? And then you turn again 90 degrees right, and you should have a tailwind, but you've got another headwind. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going home. This is too hard.
That's cycling in a cyclone.
Oh.
Is it? Yeah.
The wind is not my friend.
I remember from my training when I was doing running, and that was 100% what I said. I'll run in rain, I'll run in sleet, I'll run when it's really warm, but running in wind is the worst type of climate for me to be doing it in. Definitely.
The wind is terrible. As a cyclist, the wind is your worst enemy.
Yeah.
I don't mind necessarily riding in the rain because I've got good rain mac for cycling. But running in the wind and the rain, I don't mind at all.
Right.
Cycling in the wind,
no.
I'll be like, nope. Like going home. But also, if you get big articulated lorries coming past you,
I can imagine there's
the
a
wind as they come past you can shunt you right across the road.
Gosh.
Because they don't really slow down when they come past you.
I can imagine if you're going at speed, that can be quite dangerous as well. Yeah.
You have to be quite aware of your bike handling skills.
Right. Yeah.
So I've been riding a bike since I was 2, and I've always ridden regularly.
Yeah.
So I'm really comfortable on my bike.
Right. Yeah.
Quite a lot of the time with my PT clients, as they're getting fitter, stronger, healthier, the next thing I do is put them on a bike.
Yeah.
And take them out to a park. Take them out to Otley.
Right, yeah. Lovely part of the world.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And then you have to cycle back up the hill.
Yeah.
That's the bit I like best.
Oh gosh. Demon.
They generally say some sweary words at me at that point.
Yeah. Oh well.
So, yeah, we're cruising now.
We are. I'm trying to have a quick look at my heart rate. I'm getting up there, 118 now.
Good.
So I'm trying to aim for that 120 that you've tasked me with.
120. Keep those RPMs nice and high.
All right. So TJ, when we'll get back to your outlaw event. So when you've done your bike, you've done your swim, you've done your bike. How are you mentally then going to prepare yourself to do a marathon at the end of that by running?
Yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah.
Running is not my favourite thing in the world.
Yes, I remember from the first podcast you said. Yeah.
But knowing I started getting ready for Ironman 3 years ago.
Right.
So I did half Ironman first.
Yeah.
To work out how much training it would take.
Right.
How much time it would take. How long it took me to recover. Mm-hmm. And as I crossed the finish line of a half, mentally, did I have anything left?
Yeah.
Physically, did I have anything left? And the answer was yes to both. So I was like,
right,
okay, cool.
Check those two boxes.
Check those two boxes.
Yeah.
So the following year, I took the year off running.
Right.
And then I started running really slowly.
Right.
And I started again in January this year. And it's been really great. I'm really enjoying running. Uh-huh. I've just done a 10-mile race.
Right.
And I was really comfortable at 10 miles.
That's good.
I went at a steady, even pace to the halfway point.
Yep.
And then I turned round and I took 30 seconds a kilometre off every kilometre.
On the way back?
On the way back.
Bloody hell, was it downhill?
No, it was just flat along the canal.
Gosh,
I just had enough in the tank to do that.
Yeah.
So you do have to mentally prepare for that moment when you've been on your bike for 8 hours, you get off, your legs feel really weird.
Yeah.
Your lower back's achy because you've been bent over. Your shoulders are sore.
Yeah.
And you're really tired. It's probably by that time about 5 or 6 in the evening.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You've been up since 3. You're tired by then.
Of course.
So you have to build that into training. So that starts 2 or 3 months ago for me, where every few weeks, based on my client load for work, I will overload through the week.
Right.
I will completely exhaust myself.
Yes, like from what you said earlier, double sessions and things like that. You might be doing a 3-hour bike and a 2-hour swim or 2-hour run or something. Yeah.
And you push the boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to be a bit sensible and go, this feels like too much. Or I'm just being silly and of course I can do another hour.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to make that decision. But I will go to the very edge and I'll be really, really tired and then have to get up the next day and hammer it.
And hit it again, yeah.
And it's that get yourself going. And that's the mental training.
That is, yeah. It's almost like trying to build up your mental capacity, isn't it? That mental resilience to doing it. And a lot of things I take kind of ideas from and kind of like inspiration from. Have you ever heard of like Ross Edgley when he swam around the UK?
He's amazing.
And it's almost like trying to think about guys that have done extraordinary feats and like, well, what have they done? They've done loads and like swimming the British Channel, some people have done. Yeah. And almost thinking, well, if they can do that, and they're a human being, I'm sure somewhere within my capacity I'm going to be able to do that as well.
Yes.
Give or take certain scenarios and obviously training and things, but if somebody is able to do that, there shouldn't be a reason as to why you can't do that, unless you've got certain limitations. And
even then there's a way to do it, you know. It might take a different form or it might be slightly in a different way. Yeah. But limits are set entirely by our mind.
It is. No, 100%. There's and nothing builds up mental resilience such as what I think anyway, because I've done loads of different types of training now. Yeah. Distance training. Because there comes to a point when you're doing things for long distance, and I'm talking like more than 3 hours doing the same thing.
Yes.
When it becomes really, really easy to talk yourself into giving up being a good idea.
Yes.
Right, I'll just get to the next corner.
Yeah.
And now stop.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just next song. When the next song finishes,
yeah.
I'll call it
I think
a day then.
I think I'll be done after the next song. Yeah.
Pat yourself on your back because you think you've done enough.
Yeah.
But that's just your head saying that. Whereas your body can actually do a lot more.
Yeah.
We're built up of these muscles, ligaments, tendons, and a skeletal system that has been designed to allow us to move for years and years and years and years. Yeah. So trust me when I say that it will be able to hold up.
Yes.
Yeah.
People have done more than a marathon in a day.
Exactly, yeah.
You might not enjoy the last 10 miles of it.
Yes.
But physiologically, you are absolutely capable.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
You know, women have been having babies for thousands of years.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
yeah. So
I'd rather do an Ironman than do that. All right, we're going up 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more.
And you want to try and keep your RPM above 80.
Right, let me find my above 80. What? Sorry, 80.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We're just on a slow build now. How's that heart rate doing?
132.
Okay.
So we're climbing.
We're up now.
Yeah. No, because I am starting to sweat quite a bit as well.
Yep.
It's building up. So just currently we've been going for how long is that? 41 minutes.
41 minutes now.
41 minutes.
41 and a half minutes.
My obviously we're on a stationary studio bike in a gym, but it's saying we've currently done 6.5 miles. Yeah.
Yes, I'd have done an awful lot more than that on the road, I can tell you.
Oh, I bet you would have, yes. Yeah.
I'd have done about 13 miles, maybe 14.
Right, yeah. That's perfect. So we'll talk about when you're cycling then. So for the guys that are listening that maybe want to get into cycling and they don't really know where to start, what would be the best options to do so? Are there like clubs out there and stuff?
I'd like to say yes.
Yeah?
But cycling clubs can be a little bit who's got the best bike.
Ah, right. Yeah. No, you can imagine, can't you? Yeah.
You know, if you haven't spent 10 grand on your bike, they might look at you and be like...
£10,000? Bloody hell. I'll stick to running.
You know, the best thing to do really is go and find your local bike shop.
Right, yeah.
Tell them what kind of cycling you want to do.
Yeah.
They'll help you find the right bike.
Uh-huh.
And look for a local triathlon club.
Yeah.
You might never want to do a triathlon.
Yeah.
But the people who do triathlon are, in my experience, ridiculously friendly.
Right, yeah, that's good.
There are elements of competitiveness.
Uh-huh.
And there are elements of we just want everyone to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And be silly.
So what would you do in a triathlon club then? Because that's completely a new thing to me. I've never really heard of the term. So is it almost like if you were to join a running club?
Yeah.
Is it that type of environment?
So I'll give you some examples. I am a founder member and committee member of Hyde Park Harriers Triathlon.
Right, yeah.
Club. We were born out of Hyde Park Harriers Running Club.
Right.
And I've been a member there for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And do you remember when a few years ago the World Triathlon came to Leeds? It
did, yeah. Yeah.
And
that wasn't too long ago, actually.
I think it was 5 years.
Yeah.
And my running club had about 40 people from the running club, most of whom had never swum in open water, didn't own a bike, but were pretty handy runners.
Yeah.
Just entered. And they were like, oh, better go find a bike. Oh, better learn how to ride the bike.
Yeah.
Oh, better learn also how to fix the bike.
Yes, yeah.
Better learn how to swim. Find a wetsuit.
Yeah.
Learn how to swim in open water.
Yeah, I can imagine that being totally different as well.
It's really scary the first time. So off we went, really.
Yeah.
And we had 40 people complete. And then we sort of thought, I wonder if we should form a triathlon club, which we did. We got some funding from British Triathlon.
Brilliant.
To allow for training of coaches.
Yeah.
We've trained 5 coaches. We run a couple of events every year called Go Tries. Have you heard the phrase before?
No, I'll have to Google it.
So a Go Try is a mini event aimed at complete beginners to triathlon.
Yep.
Who maybe have experience in one of the elements of triathlon.
Yeah.
And they're small enough events that as a complete beginner you could walk the whole thing and do it fine.
Ah, nice.
So it might be like we use the Brownlee track in Leeds.
Yeah.
We do a 1 mile run.
Yep.
A 5 mile ride. And a 1 mile run.
Ah, yeah.
So it's a duathlon.
Yeah.
And you can take as long as you need to do the cycle. It's a 1 mile track.
Yeah.
So you just do it 5 times.
Yeah.
And then we run around the football fields at the back.
Right.
Some people take it a little seriously.
Yeah.
But mostly it's for first timers.
Right, yeah.
It's to experience the world of triathlon.
Yes.
Or multi-sport event.
Yeah.
And it's such good fun.
I can imagine that being a very daunting thing as well, like trying to think that you've got to train for so many different disciplines.
Yeah.
Because usually if you're just doing one specific thing, either be weight training, powerlifting, bodybuilding, running, it's usually you just focus your energies just on one thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with a multi-sport discipline, you've almost got to do like a SWOT analysis of yourself, haven't you? And just be like, right, so I know I'm strong at that, but I'm not going to keep doing that because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm going to concentrate on
something that I'm not too good. I've got to step out of this comfort zone.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. But the triathlon community is so friendly and they just want everyone to enjoy their sport.
Yes.
Triathlon is the fastest growing sport in the country by a country mile.
Yeah.
And it's also the biggest area of growth within triathlon is women between the ages of 45 and 65.
Really?
It's engaging lots of women who might be too intimidated to go to Leeds 10K.
Yes, yeah.
Because there's 10,000 people running it.
Yeah, of course.
And they're worried about coming last.
Yeah.
But triathlon community is so fun and so supportive. So we organise as a club in the summer. We cycle once a week.
Right.
As a formalised group session.
Yeah.
We split it into 4 different average speeds.
Okay.
From the beginner to the super fast.
Yep.
And a couple in between. We have ride leaders who will plan a course or a route. And we'll really just keep an eye on people on the way around.
Yeah.
Good way to meet people. Good way to get more confident on the roads, in the traffic.
Yep.
Good way to see different routes in your local area. Really, really cool.
Which I can imagine if you do enjoy being outdoors and stuff, it'll be a beautiful way to see where you live, really, and just see the sights of Yorkshire. Because you might know it, but you only might know it from a driver's seat or a passenger seat in a car, and to actually experience those gradients and look more about the features that are around you and things that make you.
I mean, if I took you cycling around your local area, I would show you things that you'd never even seen. Because you'd be like, oh my god, I didn't even realise this was here.
You can imagine it. You can imagine it, definitely.
So there's that, which is also awesome. And then, so that happens in the summer. We swim every Wednesday as a club. Yeah. With qualified coaches.
Right. Oh, brilliant.
Who will design a session. They'll help with technique.
So where would you do that swimming? TJ?
So we hired lanes at the Forum.
Right, so indoor. Yeah.
Yeah. In the summer, the indoor session still happens, but most of us swim outdoors.
Ah, right, okay.
There's a place out near Haworth.
Right, yeah.
Called the Blue Lagoon.
Right, yeah. Never heard of that.
Where you can go swimming. Allerthorpe Lake.
Right.
Other side of York.
Yes.
That's another good one. Caroline's Lake at RSPB St Aidan's. That's free.
Ah, brilliant, yeah. So usually would you have to pay to swim in open lake somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, never knew that.
Because they have to put safety boats in the water for you.
Of course, yeah. There'll be an element of the lifeguard having to be there as well and stuff.
You know, like it's free at St Aidan's.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any of that. And you're at your own risk.
For a reason, yeah.
You know.
No health and safety.
No health and safety.
Hope you've got insurance.
If you need to crack on, you crack on.
Right, I'm just going to be totally honest with you, TJ. My ass is killing me. No.
Yep.
Yeah, my legs are burning up.
This is not the most comfortable.
My quads.
Quads hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about 50-ish minutes in.
Coming up to 51 minutes now.
Yeah. So if you were to be doing this for 4 hours, I can imagine that being a slog.
To be honest, these saddles are really uncomfortable.
Right, I'm glad you mentioned that.
My backside is going to be very unhappy tomorrow.
Yeah. Gosh.
Well, we're going to get into the hard work portion of things soon.
Oh, we haven't started that yet. We're not.
No, we're still cruising.
Right. Cruising for an heart attack. I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
How's your heart rate doing?
147. Okay. It's nearly 150. It has definitely steadily inclined because when we first started, don't quote me, but I think it were around about 104.
Yeah, it was in the early 100s for a very long time, wasn't it?
Yeah. And if I were to kind of gauge where I'm at fitness-wise, it's probably not that fit. I play five-a-side once a week. No running, no anything else, just weight training. So,
like I'm at the advantage because I've always been a cyclist.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't got long to go now.
Ah, good.
27 minutes.
Ah, not long. We've got a bit of battery life on those cameras.
It's going to get a bit more puffy and panty in this podcast.
Ah, brilliant, eh? So TJ, you mentioned earlier that you're a personal trainer, sports massage therapist.
Yeah.
How are you finding combining the two of them?
I love it.
Yeah.
So, especially the clients I see for both.
Yeah.
Because you learn to look at people in a slightly different way.
Right, yeah.
So I can look at a client when I've got them doing some running around the park or jumping around or whatever, and I can go, something's not quite right in that hip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe see them in a couple of weeks for a sports massage and go, I've just noticed in the last few weeks that there's not as much lateral movement or abductive movement.
Yeah.
There's a bit of something in the left hip. How's it feeling? Especially like here. Dunk.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
And we can then fix that quite quickly. The biggest difference is with the PT, your energy's got to be up.
Yes.
You got to bring the energy for your client.
Yeah.
And you're going straight into a massage. And you have to be calm.
Yeah, there's no jumping for joy, shouting at your client, all that type of stuff when they're on a bed, supposedly supposed to be relaxing. Yeah. Yeah. So, are you finding it's linking well between the clients, specifically more like the clients that you train and treat? So you're gaining kind of like what you've just said, a more holistic view of them in a movement point of way, rather than say
absolutely
energy expenditure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And from a business development point of view,
yes.
If someone comes to you for a massage,
yeah,
and you might be chatting through that massage, always looking for little bits of information that give you clues as to why their quads are the way they are, why the tight spots are where they are.
Yeah.
And it's a good time to sort of say, some strength work in these areas might help.
Yes, yeah.
I know an excellent PT.
Yes. No, but I mean, it gives you the tools to be able to do that as well, doesn't it? Because I think that can sometimes be a frustrating thing for just solely massage therapists, because we get a lot of them at entry level through Velocity. And then if you're just a sports massage therapist, it can be quite, I don't want to say soul destroying, but to the point of where you're giving them exercises to do that are going to correct their injury, dysfunction or whatever, and then they're just not doing it. Yeah. Which
like physios must feel like that all the time.
You can imagine, can't you? Yeah. So
someone comes and says, "Oh, I've got this problem in my glute," and you sort of diagnose where the problem is and say, "Right, I want you to go and do these 3 exercises, 10 reps of each, 3 times a day," knowing full well that 99% of the time they're going to leave the office, come back in a month and go, "It's still sore."
It's still sore, yeah. Well, what have you changed? What have you been doing?
Nothing.
They might tell you they've been doing something.
Yeah.
But like I say, you will get your clients as well that will go, and they will, if they're that way inclined, they will religiously do the exercises, which is fantastic. But then
that's probably 1% of patients.
There you go, yeah, and that's speaking from yourself, who's in practice. So being able to kind of like offer the holistic package for the individual, the client themselves, it becomes very beneficial.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a good PT, you're always looking for, how can I help my client get the most value out of this?
Yes. Yeah.
So quite often, if a client has an injury, I'll send them to my own physio.
Yes.
And say, go and see my physio. And then give them permission to phone me.
Right. Yeah.
And the physio might say, "I've seen Charlie. There is a problem with the high hamstring tendon.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to lay off doing.
Right.
So we don't make it any worse.
Yes.
This is what I want you to do to make it stronger."
Right.
Add that into your session plan for them.
Yes. Yeah.
So when your client comes back, you can go, "I spoke to Dave. I understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
He's given me some stuff that he would like you to do in my session. I've built that into the rest of it."
And that's perfect.
The client experience there is awesome.
It becomes a lot more of a total service, doesn't it? Yeah.
The last time I was here, we spoke a lot about PTs doing the training and forgetting the personal.
Yes, and it does, and you see that a lot because they might just focus all of their efforts on one thing.
Yes.
Which is the training. Which, fair enough, a lot of them get qualified, and the reason for that is because the love of training.
Yes.
But you've got to remember the 50% of the other term as well.
Yeah.
Which makes it a total service, which is it being personal.
Yes.
Because, especially now, you can get training information from anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so
just
much
look
online.
At the Insta world and all that.
Exactly, and
someone calling themselves an influencer.
That's a subject for an whole other different podcast, TJ.
Podcast number 3, when we're going to train someone else in your team.
Yeah, but you take Brandon through a swim session, and I'll get you some form of waterproof audible kit.
Brandon's like, "Please accept my resignation as of today."
Yes. But there's an abundance of training information out there that people can have really instantaneous access to.
Yeah.
So what distinguishes the information you're giving to a client compared to what they can go and self-source themselves?
Yeah. It's a very interesting question.
And it needs to be that personal touch.
We're going to go down 3 in
fantastic.
just less than a minute.
Brilliant.
Only briefly though.
Music to my ears.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can interrupt me with telling me to go down gears for as long as you like. But yeah, it's what makes yours different, because trust me, probably Google stores a lot more information than what we do in our brains.
Absolutely.
And it needs to be that whole one-to-one personal experience that you give the client.
Yeah.
The service.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe can differentiate.
Absolutely.
Your training compared to what they can go and self-source.
Yeah, so I started with a new client this morning.
Yes.
And the first 2 sessions we're doing are muscle testing in all the muscle groups.
Yep.
To the level of fatigue, going down in 3, 2,
oh, brilliant.
1.
Right, so that's levels down.
Yeah.
3 levels, did you say?
Yep, 3 levels down.
So what level are you at?
I'm at 4 now.
Brilliant. I'm at 4 now. Yeah. I pressed it, but then I got confused with how many times I pressed it because I could hear you pressing it. Which I want to tell everybody that I kind of left it at 5 then. That's why I had to look over and just be like, right,
you were like, please go down another one.
Yeah. Not doing myself any favours here. But yeah. So
we've got less than 20 minutes, bro.
20 minutes, right.
20 minutes to go. So, I started with a new guide today.
Yeah.
The first 2 sessions I said we're just going to assess. I want you to think about all the exercise we're doing. I want you to think about if there's any difference in how quickly you fatigue on the left side or the right side or the front side or the back side of your body.
Right, yeah.
And I start at the bottom up. Mm-hmm. So start at the calf muscles.
Yeah.
Work them in 4 or 5 different ways.
Yeah.
Get them active. Take him to a point where he's going, oh yeah, that's fatiguing now. And I go, now think about which one's fatiguing first.
Yeah.
And then we follow that all through the body, in all the big muscle groups. And what I then have is a picture of, is the left side of their body or the front side of their body stronger than the right side or the back side of their body.
Right, yeah.
Over 6 months I would look to balance that out.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you've got that balanced, you can then start strengthening things completely.
Right, yeah.
So you're going to help them to be more injury proof. You're going to have 6 months to educate, teach about, don't be so focused on the numbers and the weight loss and stuff.
Yeah.
That will come.
Yeah. Because there's no point progressing something that's broken.
No.
You know what I mean? If there's a certain dysfunction there and you've got muscular imbalances, if you were to total body strengthen off of the back of that, you're just strengthening things that are incorrectly predispositioned in the body. So
if you've got strong biceps, but your triceps are weak, all that's going to happen is eventually you'll get more tricep injuries.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be a lagging body part as the other body parts become stronger, definitely.
Yeah. For me, it doesn't matter how you look.
Yeah.
I just want things to be balanced.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
If you then want to take the education that I'm giving you and go and sculpt your body in a specific way, I'll give you advice and help you do that, 100%.
Yeah.
But let's spend 6 months building a decent foundation.
Yeah. Which is neat, and which is skipped from a lot of training plans now. When you see people come into exercise, they'll read a magazine article, they'll read something that they've seen online, and then it's very easy for them to just think, right, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to do this, so I'll do that, and I'll look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. What you're kind of missing from that one snapshot of what you've just read there is the 30 years training experience that it's took to get to that point of doing that program.
Yes.
And you'll know yourself, and there's no much more humbling thing that you'll find to when you come to do a distance event.
Yep.
There needs to be some form of foundational training that builds you up to that point, because nobody's going to wake out of bed one morning and say, right, I'm going to go do a triathlon. Yeah. And then they go and run a triathlon. Yeah. You're not going to do that without any exercise experience and any form of kind of like core foundations to your body. So it's definitely something for people to think about. It is really,
it's for people to think about. And when I take on a new client, I always sort of say, if you're looking for someone to do a 12-week body shred with you, where you measure you and sell you supplements, I'm not that.
Yes. Yeah.
I am not that. I'm the wrong PT for you.
Yeah.
I wish you luck.
Yeah.
But I'm not that.
Yes, exactly.
What I can do is I can help you to understand your body and how it works, and help you to adapt how you think about it. So there's no treat foods. Food is not reward or punishment for exercise. Exercise is not reward or punishment for food.
Exactly. You're not an animal, are you?
You have to break that. Yeah. It's almost like sometimes I feel like I'm deprogramming people. I'm like, you've been in a cult for 10 years.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to break away from, this is my cheat food. Mm-hmm. If you want the donut, eat the damn donut.
Eat the donut, yes.
Just generally live a healthy life. one of my most successful clients in 2 years started doing 1 session a week with me.
Yeah.
She was a slightly bigger woman in the middle of a very active family.
Right.
In that time, she's had a couple of operations, just minor things. And she also slipped on her decking.
Right.
And fractured her coccyx.
Gosh.
So
that's a nasty old injury, that.
Oh, yeah. She had 3 weeks of not doing anything.
Right.
And then we had to be super careful and super cautious about everything we were doing. And we just worked around it.
Yes.
We tried something and she said, oh, no, that's not comfortable. Just didn't do it.
Yes, yeah, of course.
We adapted her training to do standing only training because she couldn't sit properly.
Yeah.
And that lasted 8 weeks. But in 2 years, she's 55 pounds down.
Right.
She's healthier, happier and fitter than she's ever been. And she's the active person in the middle of an active family. She's the one that's on a Saturday. Let's get on the bikes, guys.
Yeah, getting people G'd up and
that's
being
success.
That source of, like you say, being that source of energy within the family.
Yeah.
To get people active. Because that's a really, really positive thing that you've done to that client then.
Yeah.
Because you've totally changed the mindset. And not only that, it's had a forward impact into
her family.
Into the family, yeah.
They're going on different kinds of holidays because they're all active and want to try stuff.
Yes.
And that's what, for me, as a trainer, that's what success looks like.
Yeah.
Whether someone loses 6 pounds in 2 weeks, I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just not the trainer who's going to weigh you.
Yeah, those short-term effects. It's almost like you've got a client there that's after almost like a tangible product.
Yes.
That's what they're after. So they're after the shakes. They're after the short burst exercise plan. I'm going to do this for 6 weeks, get my head down, and it's going to make me look like this, and that'll make me so much more happier. Yeah. So that's kind of like the whole tangible thing that they've got in their head. Yeah. Whereas if you actually want in that long-term benefit, that long-term success, they need to think of an intangible thing that they want, which is a service, it's an education, it's all these types of things. It's like, I know this is totally something different, but when people talk about knife crime, and they say, right, just do X, Y, and Z, do this, get people in.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple because they're looking for something tangible to just say, right.
They want a solution to the problem that's instantaneous.
But it's going to have to be such a long-term process. It's going to have to be education. It's going to have to be changing the mindset of these individuals that do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know that's relating it to something.
No, but I understand what you mean. But health is also, health is a really serious thing.
Yeah, of course, I'm
we've got a population of 65 million, and 10% of those people have diabetes.
Yes. Yeah,
and only 10% of that 10%, so only 1%, is type 1.
So you're talking...
The other 9%...
Yes, yeah.
And it purely can be fixed by behaving in a different way.
Exactly.
And you go, why are we still selling?
Yes.
Body shred programs. We know historically that they don't work.
Yes.
They work in the short term.
Yeah.
But overall, they bring a feeling of failure.
Well, they do in the long term, definitely, yeah. And then they get people caught in cycles, trapped into doing things and over-reliant on products. Yeah. And short-term fixes and putting plasters over scars and things like that. Yeah. So there needs to be a lot more holistical way. Okay. Which...
I'm just going to interrupt you quickly. Yep. We've got about 1 minute and 15 seconds until we've got 10 minutes only to go.
And then we've got 10 minutes.
Brilliant.
So,
when we get to 10 minutes, we're going to do 5 minutes of intense.
So when we get to 10, we're going to do the 5 straight up, or we're going to do the 5 calming down and then 5
No, we're going to do 5 hard minutes, but in interval form.
Right.
Okay, and then... We're going to do 5 minutes of just easy, gently pedaling like this.
Okay.
So it's going to be a minute of what I call spin-ups.
Right.
So you want to go to level 5 to get prepared.
We're up now, yeah?
Yep. And then, when I say go, pedal fast and hard as you can.
Right, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that you're going for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so don't go absolutely crazy. Oof. And then we'll have a minute to relax, and then we're going to get into a really hard gear and climb.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some hard work coming.
I'll just go if you say so. So if it goes pretty quiet in the pod,
if you can hear us huffing and puffing,
yeah,
there's a valid reason for that.
Watch the video. Watch the video. Yeah. If you're not audible, I'm sorry. You're gonna hear me sweat and
I think all of the team here at Velocity are gonna enjoy watching this bit in edits tomorrow when they see Ben in the pain cave.
Well, I'll tell you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, I need more resistance than that. I've gone up to 7.
God, I need to.
Yeah, you need a bit more resistance, don't you? That's halfway. Oh, I need a bit more resistance. 15 seconds to go. Less than 10, mate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And relax.
Keep legs turning. I'll come right down to 2.
2. Oh gosh. So
that got your attention.
That's a bit of a beast, yeah. So how long are we resting for now, TJ?
We're resting for a minute.
A minute? Brilliant.
And then we're going on a steep, slow climb.
Right.
So probably about level 10, 12-ish.
Bloody hell.
Get out the seat.
Yeah.
And just pedal out the seat.
And
nice and slow.
We're going to do that for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. You stick to your Ribena.
Brandon will be done in a few minutes. You can come and join me for the next half.
Yeah. You're in swim session later.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Start to find the right gear.
So you say about 10, 12?
Yeah, something that makes you have to stand up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Quick start, go. 2. I had a technical hitch. That's okay, I'm coming. There you go, I'm on level 20.
You just had to fix your bike.
Yeah.
Get out and change time.
Well, I don't think this bike is terribly happy at being run for 80 minutes at a time.
Oh no.
What level are you on?
Right, I'm on level 14.
Okay, get up 2 more. I'm on 20 and it won't let me go anywhere.
Right, I'll try 20 then. Whew. There's a quad burner.
That is a quad burner. Sorry for the heavy breathing into the mic. That must sound weird. And rest. Get right back down to 2.
Oh. It's when you sit down after it.
You get gear one more than you start to go.
That's what I feel like. I was putting the same effort in, but my legs were going mad. Yeah.
Okay, 30 seconds and we go for the last set.
Okay.
Right?
Same again.
You're going to go up to something where you can sit in the seat.
Yeah.
Level where you can sit in the seat, but you're really struggling.
Okay.
And then spin your legs as fast as you can.
Okay.
So it's a full-on burn now. I'm going to go to, I think, 12. Is good for me.
Okay.
Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Really stamp on the pedals. 10 seconds gone. What speed are you on?
13.
Okay. Okay, 30 seconds to go. Get up to 16. nearly there. 20 seconds. Barely. 15. 10 seconds, come up. 3, 2, 1, and back to 2.
That was tough. That was really tough.
I don't feel like I'm going to be invited back to Velocity
anymore. Gosh. Oh, wow. Well, the only way I can describe that is somebody had a blowtorch on my quadriceps. Oh, dreadful. Talk about lactic threshold. Wow, I live in it. Oh my gosh. So would you finish all your cycle sessions like that, TJ? Indoor on a bike?
Indoor on a bike, yes. But what I would do is, say on my next one, my plan for the next one is start at level 1, 3 minutes. Up to level 2, 3 minutes.
Right.
Up to level 3, 3 minutes. And you go up to the top end of the bike.
Right.
As far as you can go.
Bloody hell.
And you get to the maximum resistance, either that you can handle or that the bike can give you.
Yeah.
And then 3 minutes come down, 3 minutes come down, 3 minutes come down.
Gosh, that was dreadful. No, thank you, but that was awful.
Thanks, but we're not doing this again, TJ.
Oh, wow. No, that's perfect.
Well, I enjoyed that. My little legs are awake now.
Oh, but yeah. You've just warmed up now, haven't you, TJ? You
I
can go around for another...
I was just thinking, I could have a little run now, actually.
Oh. So, TJ, we're literally going up to 80 minutes now, and then we're going to call it a day.
Yes, mate.
On it, brilliant. So, we'll have a look at wrapping the pod up here then, if that's okay.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
If you guys are interested in TJ, interested in endurance, triathlons, cycling, PT, sports massage, where can guys hit you up, TJ?
Twitter and Insta.
Yeah.
I am All Change PT.
Okay.
Facebook is All Change Personal Training. Mm-hmm. The website is allchangepersonaltraining.co.uk. All my details are on there.
Fantastic.
Give me a call if you need anything.
Yeah.
I think I've got capacity for about 3 more clients at the moment.
Right, oh, fantastic.
Or if there are any PTs who want to chat about starting up the business, what the struggles have been, what the easy bits have been, I'm more than happy to do that stuff as well.
No, I think that'd be very interesting and very good for them to talk to you as well, TJ, because you came through the academy quite a number of years ago now.
I did, 3.5 years ago.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
When you think about kind of like the growth of what you've done, you got qualified, you took the ball, you ran with it, and you ran over any brick walls that got in the way. So definitely, if you guys are qualified and you wanted more information from somebody there out in the field, TJ is definitely somebody that I'd recommend as well. And if you want a good beasting as well, get in contact with her.
I want to work with Brandon next time I come to see you.
At request. You can, yes.
Brandon's not particularly pleased at being voluntold.
Guys that are listening, Brandon's the man behind the camera and the man that edits the podcast, so he'll be on your next one anyway.
Like to stay behind the camera.
Stay comfortable in his 2 jackets and his bottle of Ribena.
Well, I said to you at the beginning, Ben, that I thought it was only fair that if I came and gave you a typical training session for me, that the next time I come, I'm happy to put myself in your hands and say, train me like you would train a bodybuilder. Oh gosh. Not my bag, but I'm happy to try it.
Yeah, we'll have to link the microphones up to dumbbells that time, won't we, and benches. No, perfect. So
this has been fun, eh?
It has. It's been very fun, and I think I speak on behalf of everybody here and that's listening. Like, all the best for your outlaw competition that's up and coming, and all your training. Hopefully, it all goes fine and injury free and stuff. So. Pretty sure if you put yourself through brutal sessions like that often, that you'd be probably fine. By the time that you've got down once... I feel like it would
be cruel to tell you that was a basic session rather than a brutal session.
Oh dear. Just kicking me while I'm down. So guys that are listening, be sure to subscribe to our podcast channel, Spotify and iTunes, Velocity Radio Podcast, and we've also got this out on YouTube, so if you actually want to see me get a beast in, sweating by TJ, by all means search Velocity PT Academy in YouTube and subscribe to our channel, because all of our great podcasts are on there as well.
And they are great podcasts. I really enjoy them, actually.
Thank you very much. And TJ's now on 2, so if you haven't listened to episode 1 with TJ, make sure that you go and do that if you've listened to this one. By all means, thank you very much, guys, for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.